Hey everyone, my name's Tim Day, and I am in no way qualified to talk about design theory to you. So instead, what I'd like to do is tell you one of my personal experiences sort of using design or seeing design out in the wild. Not too long ago, I was part of a team that was tasked with looking at how our organization needed to change in order to be successful in the quote future operating environment. We were looking about 10 to 15 years out in the future, and we wanted to know, what sort of activities would we need to do? What sort of capabilities would we need to develop or invest in? And what are some things maybe we could do less of? Now, the Canadian Armed Forces normally goes through this cycle, and they do it over a period of 3 years. We were given 10 months to do this entire project. So we took, 2 months to look at the environment, what we thought the environment would be in the future. And then really what we did was we crowdsourced and used a variety of both qualitative, quantitative sort of collection techniques to get a picture of what, our organization as a whole thought that we should be doing more of in the future. The last step was to figure out what sort of structural changes our organization would need to go through in order to implement this future operating concept. Now, at the end of it, we proposed what I thought were some pretty innovative, some pretty provocative ideas, and I thought, we had really sort of broken out of our old paradigm, and quite frankly, I was kind of happy that we did it all in about 10 months. However, about the time we were sort of nearing the end of our project, we were given the opportunity to have some really experienced design facilitators come in and take a group of people that weren't associated with this project and people that weren't experienced in practicing design and have them look at this challenge to get a fresh set of eyes and make sure we weren't too far off the mark. So over the course of 4, half-day sessions, they guided this group through some various design methodologies and design tools. Things like concept mapping, where the individuals would break off and sort of using word pictures or phrases, just generic, ideas about what the future should hold. And then when they brought that together, they looked for themes, common themes across all of the people. They used empathy mapping to better understand how we see our own organization, how others would see our organization from the outside. And then they used things like the semiotic squares to really look at a number of competing tensions to see if plotting those would provide any insights. At the end of what amounted to like 2 days, the group arrived at generally the same spot we did after 10 months of some pretty labor-intensive work. When we asked the group how it went and how they felt about using design in this process, a lot of them said they really struggled in the first couple of sessions because they didn't feel it was getting anywhere. There was some frustration that they weren't, developing a product for presentation. They said it felt as though there was lots of ideas swirling around, and it wasn't till, nearing the end of the final session that these ideas were sort of brought together into a coherent, concept or approach to go forward. So over 10 months that I spent on the project, of course, we developed a lot more depth and we could show our math, but the design group's, core products were pretty much aligned with ours. So my big takeaway from this was that when you're looking at these really big, complex problems, using a design approach up front will probably give you your general direction. It'll set your course, and it may, eliminate some frustrations and focus your efforts so you can get to that end state a little bit faster. So I hope this example was useful to you. If you like the talk and design is something that interests you, remember to like and subscribe. Cheers.